the view setups on BAM are very customizable. This is a typical setup. You have your leaf, which you can work on and edit here. And you have the Sarah palette to your left, which allows you to quickly add things. And you have the properties on your right. I'm actually going to clear all of the views. Now, you can do that by right-clicking on these blue triangles. So I'm going to right-click that. Or if you click on the triangle, you get a clear button here. So I'm clicking that. So that is all the views cleared. And actually there's a view at the base, which I'm going to clear as well. So we don't actually have to stick to that original setup. If for some crazy reason we wanted the Sarah palette in the middle, we could do that. And then we could adjust the size to fit accordingly. We might put the canvas here to have our editable section here, and we may have properties on this side that suited someone better. I'm going to assume it doesn't, and I am going to set it all back to, I'm going to put properties here, canvas here, and Sarah palette here. Now if you want something thicker, you can adjust the width of the palette, and you can also collapse it by clicking this tab on the edge. And you can quickly bring it forward and collapse it. And when you change your thickness, let's say we made this super thick, if we close the program and open it up again, it will come back to that thickness. Your preferences are set. There are other options. So let's say we wanted to work on 2 documents at once, for example, 2 leaves at once. We might choose the double view. And this allows us to put in 2. So I'm going to have one here, here, and I'm actually going to swap this around for another leaf. I'm going to go with leaf 2. You may remember this from one of my other tutorials. So now we can edit, and it doesn't work very well on this small screen, or this small section of a screen, but if we made it larger, do you know what? I might do that. I'm going to make it larger. I'm going to pause the video and make this larger. One sec. We can now see we can easily edit 2 documents at once. So I'm going to do a squiggle here, and I'm going to do a squiggle here. Pressing escape. Going to delete that. Right, so we can edit 2 at once. Now let's say we wanted to sometimes edit 2 and sometimes not. So we want one view set up for something, another view set up for something else. I would go over to view 2. Right, we're back to how the view was originally. So and maybe let's just say I want to adapt this, and I want to, at the base, I want to see the debug messages. I can flit between the 2 views now. There's my editing 2, there's my editing just 1, and we have a third option, which we might say leave blank for reasons. Maybe we'll look at messages. I'm not signed in. I'm just going to sign in a second. Here's the messages I got. Pretty exciting stuff. So I can flip from messages to my editing 1 leaf to editing 2 leaves. If you have 2 screens, like what I does, you might want to add an additional window. And you click down on this button here and drag where you want the window. Well, you have 2 options. So I'm clicking down now, and I'm moving, and I can drag the window to wherever I want. Or you can just single click it and it will place a window where it fancies. So here we might look at another. Right, here's another random document thingy-malarkey. And now if I close out of the program and open it back up again, I will have all these views accessible to me. View 2, View 3, Messages, View 1, with this additional window, which I'm going to cross off now. With the double orientation view, you can change the orientation and have one above, one below. And you could even have a quadruple view where you see 4 things. And within one of those, you could then have another quadruple. So getting kind of crazy, but you can set up the views exactly how you like, in short, and all the while you still have these other palettes hanging around at the edge. Another reason you might want to use the double is, actually, do you know what? I'm going to put, no, we'll stick with this. Chopping and changing my mind. I'm going to have a canvas, have the same leaf in both, but in one of them, we're going to zoom in. So if you want to do some fine detailed work, I'm going to do this in black. Yep. So here, I'm going to add a little line. Actually going to delete that in a second, but you can see that here I have a more zoomed in version. I'm going to delete that and add a little curvy line. That's not what I meant to do. Control Z for undo. This is what I want. So I now have finer control because I'm zoomed in. I can zoom in further. So let's say I wanted to tweak this. Tweak it, you can see it's also moving the other document, but on a much smaller scale. One final type of view you might want to have is where you make the main leaf as large as possible. So I'm actually adapt view 3 for this. I'm going to put a canvas in here. I'm going to collapse that to the side, collapse that to the side. We can also thin out, get rid of this top strip if we don't think we're going to need it. So now we all just have the leaf to look at. And this might be more interesting if it was wider. So I change to 1,000, a whole 1,000, and there we have more screen to look at it. And then if we wanted to look at another view, we would have to pull this tab down and go to view 2. Back to view 3, and we can collapse this again if we wanted to.